Hi Kirby fans, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be comparing how Kirby changed their zip brush over the years. So what we'll do is we'll get straight to it. Hi Kirby fans, welcome back to the channel. Again, those new to the channel, if you're getting value out of this content, then contemplate slapping that subscribe button to support the channel, ding that bell for notifications, give us a big thumbs up and comment down below. I will reply to the comment, and if you like what you comment, I'll pin it to the video. Before we get started, I'd like to thank everyone who's subscribed and been supporting this channel. Again, it's free to subscribe. Just because it says subscribe doesn't mean it costs you a bean. It's literally showing your support for this channel and helping this channel grow. So if you want to enter that competition, when that next question goes up, we've got 5 more contestants into that draw already. So I think we've got 20 or 25 at the moment. I can't remember offhand. And then that will be drawn out of 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to enter that competition, I can't specify enough. Make sure you are subscribed before you comment on that video, and make sure your subscriptions are open. It's only fair that people that are subscribing to support the channel and its growth are entitled to enter that competition. So again, if you're not, make sure you slap that subscribe button. As I said, today what we're going to be doing is a comparison between the zip brushes through the Kirby era from the mid-80s up until now, and how they actually changed, and I presume why. So what we'll do is we'll get straight to it. Right, so everyone who's got a Kirby and invested in the turbo tools will recognise this. This is the best thing I ever invested in. It's the Kirby Turbo Tool Zip Brush, and it's a fantastic tool. It's brilliant for cleaning your curtains, brilliant for cleaning your couches, and amazing for actually getting that car interior spotless and keeping it nice and clean. If you want one, I'll put a link in the description of where to get one from. So today, what I'm going to be doing is quickly going through how the zip brushes have changed and what was out before the Kirby zip brush. So I'll quickly zoom in and show you what we've got. Right, so back in 1984, and maybe a little bit before that, I know this came out with the Heritage 84, and I'm pretty sure it might have been out before that, but by the looks of this colour scheme, it's orange. It actually matches the Heritage 84. If it came out before, please comment below, let me know what day it came out, or when it came out. If there's any of the earlier models, let me know. If not on the channel, then obviously comment on the Kirby Enthusiast Facebook page and post some pictures. This is the Heritage 84 Turbo Brush. Now this is actually belt driven, and you might recognise this system. I'm not going to name names, but there's a couple of companies out there now that are actually using a system like this, and the way it dries, so you flip that out, it's got a turbine in it. Now Kirby uses turbine, same sort of system in the sander. It's carried through to that, but there's a lot of companies, vacuum companies, and I'm assuming when Kirby dropped the patent on this, that all those vacuum companies jumped on board and actually started using this turbine system and calling theirs a turbine brush. This is belt driven, so that turbine spins with the suction, same as the sander, and actually moves that belt round, which is turning that belt drive, okay, which carries that, like so. Now, to change that belt, there will be a video of this anyway, so it'll be a separate video. This is purely just to show the differences. So that came out there, and you might recognise this system, and I have shared this in another video. But now you can see this was 1984. Obviously this belt comes off, like so. So you just prise that off there first. Okay, then you can take your belt off there. And that actually comes out. Now, what you might recognise, and I've said this in a previous video, is this system here. Does anyone think it looks familiar? Because this was back in 1984 when we were still using the adjustment screws on the Heritage to actually raise the brush up and down. Back then, Kirby had actually designed this system, and if you look, there's a number 1 and a number 2. So they're on the ball back in 1984, which before the G3 was actually released with this system for the brush roll. So they were on the ball back then, which I'm quite impressed with. And why they didn't put that system into the Heritage, perhaps they were just waiting as things were growing, but to put that system in the G series was a fantastic improvement for it, literally adjusting that brush roll. There was no messing about trying to screw it up to put it 1/8 of an inch up or down. You've got this system here. Here they got 1 and 2. On the G series, obviously you got 1, 2 and 3. which is obviously something they invented after. But yeah, I was really impressed with this. So to adjust this brush roll, it'd be on number 1. When the brush roll's worn out, you'd obviously put a straight edge across. If they were worn out and not doing anything, you'd flip it over to number 2 and then slot it back in. So we'll flip that back to number 1 and we'll slot that in there. And this is fixed so that they don't twist like on the G series. Whoops. So they don't twist separately, they're both fixed, which is quite a good system. So because you've got bearings in the end on the G series and not like the old Kirby's where you've actually just got the roller inside, that's why these don't actually spin on the ends. So, but it's a lot easier to line them up. So you just turn it to number 1 and that's aimed for both sides. Slide your belt through there, slot that back in there and put your belt on first. So slide your belt over there. Okay, so once you've got the belt on, what you're going to do is literally hold your belt there, put your thumb over it and literally push it in and turn that until it locates. Okay, that puts your belt back on. Make sure that's slotted on that groove there and then you push this in. Okay, if you don't put that in, then what tends to happen is that tends to catch on the belt. Slide that forward, put your little screw back in, like so, and that goes back on there. Now I reckon why Kirby actually dropped this system is because when I should have shown you when I took that off, but what happens is you've got a little gap there, obviously where your belt goes through, and you've got this gap here, and that's where all your dirt sucks up. So it's not very big, a big aperture for any soil, well, dirt to actually suck up off your sweet. You're going to get quite a bit of air suction through there because obviously it's a smaller hole, and it'll work really well. But all the dirt and grime tend to go up where the belt was, which is going to clog that up. And you're going to need belts. So I think this is why they actually dropped the system, just to purely save on fixing belts and replacing belts and stuff like that. But it was quite a good system, and you've got an adjustment here to reduce the airflow as well on your sweets. Then what they did was they moved from this, and I haven't got a Heritage one, so I'll have to show you a G7, but they moved on to this design, and it was chrome on the Heritage too. So you'd have a chrome one, and it's the same design all the way through, straight up to the Centria, which is when the brush roll changed again. Now with this system, it works off a turbine, but there's no belt in there. So again, it's a better system. It's easier to clean, literally, because you can just take that out, clean inside there, put a bit of WD-40 in there, or a bit of silicone spray. Give that a bit of a clean. I normally just get a paintbrush, old paintbrush, clean that out every time I've used it, and then put that back in. Twist that till it locates, and then pop that back in there, like so. So that was a G7, but I say that went from the Heritage all the way up to the Centria. On the early Centrias you had that design, but then they changed it to this design. Now it's exactly the same system. I'll bring that one back over, which I have shown before. So it's exactly the same system, the same size, everything is exactly the same, turbine controlled. Instead of that though, there where you've got that unclips there to push it out, they moved that little switch, and instead of a pin, they changed it again. So they moved it to the front, so you push that in, and there's like a plastic clip, which is there. Okay, still got the clip at the back, and the turbine slots in exactly the same. So it's exactly the same process. Now it's pointless to take them all apart, but I'll literally show you them all. But they've literally changed colour over time. Now I think this is an amazing tool, and it's probably one of the best turbo tools you can buy out there for your Kirby. Again, I'll put a link in the description where you can actually get one of these from. But that's the Centria 1, Centria 2, exactly the same colour, exactly the same design. Then we move on to the Avalir, exactly the same, just a different colour, and then the Avalir 2. So they're all exactly the same design, so you've got 4 across the board that are exactly the same design. So I don't know how long they're going to keep this design going now, might be going for a fair few years again. I mean, this one was going for over 10 years, so that's quite a long time to keep that design. I find this one works just as well as one of these, so if you can get an older zip brush, doesn't matter, these ones work just as well as one of these. and you'll probably pick them up a damn sight cheaper. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it was really informative for those who hadn't got a zip brush or hadn't seen a zip brush and didn't know about them, and how they actually changed over time. So you can see, and like I said, that first design looks a little bit familiar to me, like someone actually copied what Kirby were doing back in the day and brought that onto their design. So again, those who are new to the channel, if you're getting value out of this content, then contemplate showing support by slapping that subscribe button, dinging that bell for notifications, give us a big thumbs up, and comment down below. I will reply to the comment, and if you like what you comment, I'll pin it to the video. Right, now don't forget, we've got that G6 up for grabs, and we're literally getting pretty close to that 1,000 subscriber mark. We're literally 200 away as I'm recording this video. I think with 198 subscribers, so we're getting there really fast. If we can get there by next weekend, that would be fantastic, and we can get another 5 people into the draw, and then actually get the draw done over next weekend. That would be absolutely awesome. So again, those who are new to the channel, if you haven't already and you're getting value out of this content, then contemplate slapping that subscribe button, dinging that bell for notifications, give us a big thumbs up, and make sure you comment down below. Like I said, I will reply to the comments, and if you like what you comment, I'll pin it to the video. So what I do is cut to the bloopers, and I'll catch you in the next one. Excuse that. Then obviously comment on the Kirby interface. Then obviously comment on the Kirby interface. So enjoy the video, and that's just a little bit of an informative information. A bit. Right, so what we're going to do, today, as I said, we're going to be converting that.